Nope. Nope. I am really surprised at the sensitivity of this relatively inexpensive setup that I have here. It's the Mr. Crappie Thunder. It's a jigging rod, 9-foot jigging rod. And I absolutely love this thing. I fell in love with it the moment I saw it. Thank you, Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie himself, for another fun to fish product right here. And I'm not sure if it can get any easier than this right here. Already, the stealthiness of an inflatable kayak combined with a 9-foot rod that you can just simply just stick out there and touch somebody with it. And so we're just jigging. We're just nothing more than flipping and pitching. But we don't have to use the reel. Don't have to reel it in. Just simply extend the pole out there and hit your target. What's going on, everybody? John Graves Kayak Fishing. Hope everybody's doing great. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Florida. The weather has cooled down tremendously, making it really nice and somewhat tolerable. Now I can work in the garage again on the rod builds. Don't have to go inside and lay down on marble air conditioning just to survive. I had seen him on TV a couple times and doing some fun stuff with Spike It. Wally Marshall has some really fun Spike It products. The old Slabalicious. And had the opportunity to work with him, hang out with him. What a true pro Wally Marshall is, man. Hey everybody, Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie here. So I was really excited when we got the Mr. Crappie products in Mud Hole. And so I saw the Thunder come in here and I was like, no way, that looks like so much fun. Super sensitive. I'm really, really surprised at the sensitivity. So I'm using a 6th Sense Divine swim bait. It's just like a 2.75 swim bait there. Boy, something's popping. It's starting to warm up here on this water. And I have a 1/16 ounce crappie jig head, so it's a very small setup here. Number 4 hook. Not the biggest thing in the world, but we have already caught some really nice bass on this thing. Even the small bass are fun to catch, but caught one earlier, a little over 1.5 pounds, and that was fun. I feel like 5-pounders on this 9-foot rod. Yeah, fish are jumping somewhere. I can hear them. Surrounded by lily pads, grass, pine trees that have fell down in the water, rotten structure down below here. That's what we are fishing around, trying to stay out of our shadow. We're only looking at maybe 2-3 feet deep here. Caught on to some really nice crappie, which is what we need to do, what we wanted to do, but we'll go after anything right now. This is just fun. Hope everybody's doing good today. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Always thought it would be a lot of fun to have some spider rigs on the kayak. And this is just a really nice casual way to enjoy a day. And if I was in a kayak bass fishing tournament right now, I'd be thinking that I should probably load one of these 9-piece rods up as well. Although I'm not sure I'm not sure what the rules are on the size of rod you can use. I imagine it is under a certain length. But boy, the opportunity to be able to just get in here, drop a jig head down there with a little tiny swim bait on it around this structure, golden, absolutely. There we go, something right there. Nice. What do we got there? Little baby bass. Oh yeah. See, I'm not even setting the hook. Letting the rod just bring up that very delicate number 4 hook, 1/16 ounce jig head, with a little tiny swim bait on it. More or less, really letting the fish set the hook. A lot of fun, that's for sure. If I was a kid, I'd be having a blast right now. That is for sure. Hope everybody's doing really good today. This is a beautiful spot. What's going on, guys? You know, big, small, they're all beauties, aren't they? But we've caught some really nice fish today. And I have this Mr. Crappie Thunder jigging rod right here. And I didn't know really anything about a jigging rod until I came down here to Florida. The first one was given to me from a co-worker of mine who gave me a 9-foot big glass jigging rod. And this thing was really made for big buzz baits. And you're cruising along with your buddy and your John boat, and you're sticking this big old huge jigging pole out in front of you, and you got that trolling motor going along nice and easy, whether you're in your canoe or your kayak or whatever it might be. And that jigging pole sticking out about 8 feet or so in front of your watercraft, and boom, just an explosion. And he gave me the jigging pole to use, and I used it and had some success with it. But this is a much lighter version. This is the Mr. Crappie Thunder. It's a really cool looking rod. I love this. It's a little ETS reel right there, much like a fly reel. It's got a nice little drag system on the back. I like the Wally Marshall signature right there. Great color to it. Bulletproof guides. And I say that because they are no, they're not. They're actually a ceramic guide. Even better. Wally could have cheaped us out. Even made this rod for probably a lot less expensive by putting stainless steel ring guides in here, meaning that there's no ceramic guides in here, you know, no chance of breaking those. And we're only fishing for crappie, you know, so. But thank you, Wally. Appreciate that. I have absolutely loved this rod. So you can pick this rod up for about 65 bucks. That's with the reel. I'm not sponsored by these guys, but I probably should be. This is fun. Doesn't get any easier than this right here. We had a really great seminar yesterday with Captain C.A. Richardson. And if you guys are into inshore fishing and you've been watching YouTube for a while, you probably know Captain Richardson, great educator of saltwater, red fishing, speckled trout, just about anything that you catch in the saltwater and freshwater for that matter. Got some interesting bubbles right there. Most likely a turtle. Now, despite the relatively inexpensive cost of this combo right here, it is well made, and this is coming from a rod builder's perspective. It's well made and it is a very sensitive rod. Because I can feel the slight movement of the paddle tail on this 6-inch swim bait right here. It's only a 2.75 swim bait with a small paddle tail. Yeah, I don't know. Does it get any easier than this? This is just amazing. What a beautiful day. The wind has calmed down quite a bit. Hope everybody's doing good today. Howdy. I've been having a good time just switching things up a little bit, going hard at the bass for, almost the whole year. And switching it up a little bit like this has been a lot of fun. Salt water one day, some crappie fishing here the next day. This is something that I wanted to do anyway, and then suddenly the Mr. Crappie Thunder jigging combo right here just caught my eye. Already comes ready to fish. Got your monofilament line rigged up. I'm sure it's probably just a 10-pound, maybe 12-pound, if that. Feels a lot like about a 12-pound. Oh, what do we got right there? That is something that we just hooked up on. That's what that is. I don't want to, oh, there we go. Something, whatever it was, just let loose. What was that right there? I'm on the Hobie Pro Angler. Or, I'm not on the Hobie Pro Angler. I'm on the Hobie iTrek 11 from Strictly Sail and Kayak, located up in Blue Ash, Ohio. They've been there since 1978. What were you doing in 1978? I absolutely love the inflatables. Super quiet. Easy to move around, Oh, there we go. There's a little something right there. Now, I didn't have to set the hook hard. Oh. Good stuff. And they get that right up in that crown, and he took my last green pumpkin swim bait, shook that off. Let's get this out there, buddy. There you go. There you go. Not quite 12 inches. Let him go, let him go. Love you. There you go. We need to find another swim bait. Now we got the Divine swim bait right here. These are the 2.7 Pro shads. So we'll try this color up. And you want to be a little careful opening up those Divine swim bait packages, because these will tend to fall out. These fill more lifelike than just about any other lure I've played around with. There's a little recessed hook channel right up there. Get that hook right up in the middle of that bad boy, and that should balance you out. And there we are on the, look at that, that's beautiful, isn't it? Bam. Let's get it back in the water. Stretch that out a little bit. You know, we didn't have to set the drag up a whole lot on that reel at all. It's not like it has a whole lot of drag to begin with. Maybe 3-pound drag. I'd be very interested to know how much drag this has. 5-pound maybe at the most. It's the 9-foot rod that does all the work, just keeping them pinned long enough to get them in. Keep them pinned, get them in. Working around all this structure. Light's starting to, got me up on a limb right there. I can see that. Well, this Pro Shat really stands out a lot more than that green pumpkin, and that could make or break us. They were hitting so well on that green pumpkin right there. We were using a swim bait earlier that had a lot of gold glitter in it, and they didn't want nothing to do with that. And this is a little silver right here. Beautiful day. Wow, the water right now is just like a mirror. Wind is really calmed down quite a bit. It was very, very windy earlier. If you guys haven't tried out the Divine swim baits, you want to check these out. Boy, they are good for crappie, bass, and even just as well out on the soft salt water. They don't hold up well to pufferfish at all. That's for sure. They're not like an Elastec. They feel a lot like Elastec, but they're certainly not as durable as Elastec. But boy, do they work. They do work. I'm just with this 9-foot rod, I can feel when we have grass on that tail. It's not moving. If that tail's not moving and grooving, then you're not going to be really effective with your presentation and your lure. Oh, they felt like a little something there. Some pretty shallow water right now. Really like to get a big bluegill, just one of those big, beautiful, they're just black and blue, just deep colors with a bronze head. Absolutely gorgeous fish. But you never know what you may hook into down here in Florida, that's for sure. Bowfin, pickerel, crappie. That's usually the majority of things outside of bass that you're going to be catching. An occasional 14-inch crocodile or alligator, I mean. Yeah, I haven't seen any, there are crocs around, but not here. In fact, I haven't seen an alligator in this body of water for a while, but that doesn't mean they're not here. As a general rule of thumb, if it's wet and it's in Florida, chances there's a alligator in it. Birds are just very, very active today. I think that you can feel the change coming. Change is in the air. So just dipping this 9-foot reach. I mean, this is just absolutely reaching out and touching somebody. I think that was an early telephone commercial. Reach out and touch someone when it was a big deal. You don't know how lucky you are growing up with some of the technology today. But there was once a day when a kid like me could just sit around all day long and play with a set of Lincoln Logs. We could, all day long. You give me a Lionel train set and Lincoln Logs, I was done. I was out there discovering the West in my imagination. And that could be what's missing. The law of just imagination. And now with the introduction of AI into our lives, you know, pretty soon it's going to be hard whether or not to tell if I'm actual. Isn't that bizarre? Who would have ever thought of that? But here we are. So don't deny the beautiful resources we have outside of those technologies, just in nature itself. I think what I fear most about that kind of stuff is that we just get farther and farther away from the great outdoors. And we need more than a minority to support and to take care of the great outdoors, that's for sure. We need the majority of people to do that. What a beautiful day. So let's zigzag across some of this deeper body of water here. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna reach out a little bit, go a little bit deeper. Folks, it doesn't get any easier than this right here, man. I'm hearing some wind. Start picking up again. This is usually about the time, about 10 o'clock. This is usually when a normal, you know, day would change. Oh, there's something happened. See how deep we are. Okay, so we're about maybe 5 feet. I'm gonna bring it right up above the, it's easy to tell that just by letting the jig set down. You'll see the line go limp. So I'll just pick it up maybe a few inches above the bottom. We'll just cruise along. Jig it up and down, bounce it up and down there. Pop it up a couple times so you can see if you can really feel that swim bait move, because you want to feel that. That needs to be moving down there. Pick it out, check it out every once in a while, pop her back in there. Work our way around some more of these lily pads. The Mr. Crappie Thunder 9-foot jigging rod. Mr. Crappie, Wally Marshall. Boy, what a true pro. I had to do a video social media piece with Mr. Crappie for Spike It Lures a couple years back at ICAST. And boy, they gave me a time and a place to be with him. And it was bright and early in the morning, 8 a.m. And I'm thinking, man, is this guy actually going to show up at 8 a.m.? Because there's not many that would do that. And sure enough, me being the one that's always like first one at the dock, Wally Marshall beat me to the Spike It booth there early that morning before ICAST. I was like, whoa, and I was there like at 7:45, and he was there. And we really didn't know each other that well at that point, but boy, did we get to know each other. He looked at me and he says, "You ready to go?" And I said, "I am, man." And within just 30 seconds, about after shaking his hand, saying, "Hey, Wally," he said, "You ready to go?" I was like, "Let's do it." Dang. Rock and roll. He said, "You let me know when you're ready." And I was like, oh my God, what a true pro. And he hit it. Hey everybody, Wally Marshall here. Look at this, holy crappie. I love Wally Marshall, what a true pro. So it was, as soon as I saw the Mr. Crappie Thunder combo come in, I was like, oh, that's no brainer. That's gonna be, I'm gonna get that. We're getting a little bit closer to the bank here. We're at probably about 3 feet. I'm just gonna jig it up and down through here. Be relatively quiet. Making no sound in the iTrek inflatable from Strictly Sailing Kayak. Oh, something hit it right there. I saw that one. I don't think we've had anything really hit this one yet. We need that green pumpkin. That was a good one. I have a couple things back there that are similar to the green pumpkin. We have actually a drop shot goby by Exxon that I've never used, and this might be a good time to use it. And those goby drop shot soft plastics from Exxon have been in there for probably 2 years now, if not longer. I mean, I think I brought those from Cincinnati. So we might just try one of those here in a minute. It's a green pumpkin. It's got some silver flake in it, I think. Because again, you want the, despite what you might think about a lure and how effective it will be, if it's not getting any bites, it's not getting any bites. And so this is just allowing the fish to tell us what they want. Even though I'm very surprised that I haven't really got a bite on this yet, but it feels like one. We'll run up along this structure right here just one more time before we switch, but we'll go to those Exxon green gobies here. Now there's a lily pad over there, kind of moved. Always look for some weird activity. Look for the lily pads to move. If it's not windy and a lily pad moves, guess what? Chances are there's a big fish up underneath there. We'll work around this structure, these stumps that are down here. And that goes for any type of fishing. Always work that structure, especially in fresh water. Okay, we're gonna give one just one more shot. I don't like to spend a lot of time with a lure because you will know almost immediately whether or not it's one that's working. Let's switch over. Boom. So this is the Pro Shad right here, the 6th Sense Pro Shad. And see if we can't remove this without really. There we go. Still in pretty good shape. I'm going to go ahead and put this back in the package because I will reuse these lures. If they're still working, if that tail's working the way that it should be, I'll use them. Get back in there right there. That also helps them retain their shape by getting them back in the package. Here we go. So here's the X-Zone Stealth Invaders. Boom. So it's a swim bait head basically for Ned rig, drop shot. I have never used this thing, and I've had it for quite some time. Let's see how they do right now. Bring out the goby. I wonder if these fish have ever seen a goby before. And this might be the key. This might be the key. Nice fat head, so it fits up there really, really well. Fills that body out quite a bit. Definitely looks a lot different. This might surprise us. And there's nothing wrong with trying out this new stuff. I will, to this day, claim that if you are a halfway decent bass fisherman, wow, that really moves well in there too. If you are a halfway decent bass fisherman, you can do really, really well out on the saltwater. And boy, that tail on that X-Zone swim bait really, really works well. First time I've ever seen it work. And it works. Let the fish tell you what they want. Nice, 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 nice. Nice. Oh, and it shook me. That was a nice bass. That was a nice one. Fun, fun, fun. You know, I'm not into setting the hook on these guys. If I can keep them pinned to get them in, that's all we need to do. But that was a nice little, probably pound maybe. But this thing's working great. It's the first time I've used it. I've carried it. Maybe there's a reason I never got rid of the old X-Zone drop shot goby. But hey, don't get too excited yet. Because just because they hit it once doesn't mean a multiple bass or crappie or whatever you're going after will hit it. But that is a good sign. The X-Zone drop shot goby. They may not even they may not even make these things. I'm not even sure. I have something I've just never used, but that may change. I don't know if you guys have ever used this technique or not, but I'll tell you, it's pretty fun. But your chances of losing fish are probably greater. Now I could modify this maybe, put a little stiffer second section on it, and so I could set that hook a little bit better. But it's fun letting the rod do the work. And again, this is for crappie. This isn't for, this is basically for jigging up and down, using as a spider type of rigging on your watercraft, and just lifting those paper thin mouths up out of the water, because it's easy to get that hook set in there. It is time to get to the lake. That's for sure. What you got there? Oh, something there. I'm just in there playing around with this thing. It's awesome. That is fun. What's up, fishing with Allie G? Allie G is fun. She came in a couple days ago and visited. Allie G is always a lot of fun when she stops by and hangs out. Guys, check her out. Fishing with Allie G. Let me bring this back down. Allie G, hope everything's fun, man. Yeah, man. Crappie, this is a fun way to do it. So we just got these like Mr. Crappie combos, Thunder combos in, and I'm such a huge Wally Marshall fan anyway. Had the opportunity to do some fun stuff with Wally Marshall and iCast with Spike It, and got to know him pretty well. And then when I saw this jigging combo come in, I was like, no way. And the cost is just so, relatively inexpensive. It's like 65 bucks for everything, the reel and the rod and the line. Didn't even have to put line on it. And that's usually another, 10, 15 bucks. And the hassle of putting it on. So we are using an X-Zone Goby. This is a drop shot lure. Looks just like a goby. I don't even know if they have gobies down here in Florida. It's an invasive species, I believe, back up in the Midwest in the rivers. I believe. But boy, do the smallmouth absolutely just chow on these things. So this is a very popular smallmouth lure for the rivers. And if we can hook up to another bass here on this bad boy, this might become a very popular go-to for some of this colder weather, when that slow just kind of seems like the bite just kind of slows down a little bit, but at the same time ramps it up. These bass like it warm down here. But technically, we're not fishing for bass. We're going after crappie. We just happen to be catching bass. So I'm looking for that one school of crappie. Here we go. This is what's cool about the Mr. Crappie Thunder combo here. It's so sensitive that I can actually feel the paddle tail on this X-Zone lure as well. And it's not big. It's on a 1/16 ounce. Look at that. That's not big at all. But the sensitivity of this rod lets me know if that thing's working properly or not. Just like just pop it up, I can feel it. And that is crucial. That is absolutely crucial. Otherwise, you're wasting your time. You're wasting the lure's time. You're wasting everybody's time. You want that lure being all that it can be down there. See if it's not being all that it can be. Let's bring this down a little bit more. That way I don't have to work so hard. This is a nice, so it's a nice little, I like a synergy. Bring this out a little bit more so that when I lift it up, it's going to be right there. Okay, and then that gives me the distance I need out here. Just pop that thing up and down. Oh, this is so easy because you can just direct this lure to exactly where you need it to go. Just tease those fish. So you're just covering so much good real estate by doing this, and you're being so effective where that lure needs to be. I'm just running this thing all around those target areas, dropping it in between those lily pads. Really can't get any easier than this. The wind behind my back is pushing me along. You can see just how effortless I'm working. I could do this all day. As Wally Marshall says, I call this ride my all day. Just move it in and out of these lily pads here and just tease them. God forbid we hook up to a big old monster though. Oh my Lord, have mercy. Always look for that weird water, because we're not pushing a wake really at all, especially with this inflatable. It doesn't have a keel on it whatsoever. It's a lot like a stand-up paddle board. So it's not pushing a wake. So look out for weird water. You see those lily pads moving or that grass moving. This is a lot like working a marionette puppet. And I guess in a sense that's all they really are, these lures. Little one-string marionettes. I don't think I've kicked the Mirage Drive like very little, and the wind is just pushing us along. This is absolutely beautiful. This is good. Wow. I'm not sponsored by Folgers, but I probably should be. The ease of just manipulating this inflatable. The new Hobie iTrek 12 inflatable, even better. 12 foot, a lot more stability, a lot more storage space, deck space, and also the rails that allow you to attach a electronic monitors and cup holders and rod holders and the such. Wow, we are just moving and grooving right along. In fact, I'm actually going to pop this thing in reverse because I don't want to move around this fast. And with those fins flipped around, it's almost like a brake. It'll slow you down a little bit. And of course, to slow down even more, you just have because that wind's real. We do want the lure to be moving in the direction with the current and the wind itself too. It just looks a lot more natural like that. These baits are getting pushed over to the east side of the body of water here. Again, having a rod that is sensitive enough to feel whether or not you're wasting that lure's time by not being aware whether or not there's a piece of moss on that paddle tail, so it's not working. Let's speed it up a little bit. Burn it through here. We could be looking for something more like a reactive strike. You know, less of a hunting type, seeing something, chasing after it for a short while, and pausing it and reacting. No, we're just going to burn it through here and see if we can't come up with something like that. Sometimes you got to change the retrieval speeds of these lures. But we got some fun video earlier, catching some fun fish on this type of technique. Jigging combo from Mr. Crappie. Wow. Absolutely. Look at it. I can bring this in, pop it back out. And we're just doing this so quietly. We don't have a electronic trolling motor going. We're not spinning any type of blade. Absolutely beautiful. A lot of fun. So that's all I wanted to do. I really just wanted to show you guys this thing right here. Check it out for yourselves. These are really cool. Mr. Crappie Thunder right here. So this is like a 9 foot. It's a light action. It's like a 2 to 8 pound with a lure weight of like 1/16 to a quarter. It does have a 2-piece section to it, but comes complete with this nice little reel right here. It does have a halfway decent braking system on, or a clutch on there. Little hook keeper. Can't beat it. Ceramic guides in the, I would assume it'd be stainless steel rings, but it's not. But check it out from Wally Marshall, Mr. Crappie. Hey everybody, Mr. Crappie. Here, Wally Marshall. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Allie G, if you're still out there, boom. Thank you so much. I'm having a hard time seeing everything. Boom. Love you guys very much. Have a beautiful Sunday. Again, check it out. If you have the opportunity to get you one of these, get one right here. The Mr. Crappie Thunder right there. It's a great jig and pole, a lot of fun. 9 foot slab in action. Boom. John Graves Kayak Fishing. Over and out, guys. Love you.